headlining, something special.
Yeah. Incredible fight last time out. Obviously didn't get the result you wanted. Controversy maybe in the result. But I'm wondering, a fight like that, are there lessons you take out of that, back to the featherweight division? Or is it more just like, hey, I went out there and I gave it a shot?
There's lessons to be learned, win or lose, win or a loss. It's play on for me, honestly. Like, that camp was great. I definitely leveled up in some different areas. So and that's why you want to challenge yourself, because that's exactly what will happen. A lot of people look at what could go wrong, but you got to look at what could go right, and then obviously look at the future, because I'm a lot stronger man for it. And as I said straight after that fight, these featherweights better fucking watch out.
I love it. And obviously you got to see Yair that night. It looked incredible. Talk to me about the preparation for him. Obviously, you've been fighting nothing but killers for a while, but he seems to present a unique challenge. I mean, did you find preparation uniquely challenging in this?
Yeah, definitely. That's it's been exciting. I said I just mentioned like how good it was to do the challenge in Islam. Like, it's exciting. You want them challenges, and this is a total different challenge when it comes to the ground and the striking. And I'm disciplined. I'm always going to train hard. I've been saying that all week. That I don't need to be motivated or anything to train hard and do what I need to do. I'm going to do that anyway. But it just adds another, more excitement. We're more eager to get to the gym, figure things out, the game planning, get more in the zone. Really. Embrace some of the game planning and all the things that we need to do in there. So it was good. Again, I've got nothing but respect for Yair. Again, he is a dangerous opponent, and and that's what I want. But I just want to show everyone, why I'm the top of the featherweight division, and really show my skill set.
I think work ethics is something that's just ingrained in you, but was it difficult at all to adjust? I mean, you were this close to champ status, right? And you're kind of embracing all that. Was it hard to get the mindset back to go, hey, it's still impressive to dominate a division the way you have?
Look, obviously it stung straight after it, but play on, man. It just adds to the story. I'm going to get that rematch. Don't worry. I'm going to do my business this weekend, and I'll get that rematch, and then it's just going to add to the story. You know what I mean? It was a close one. Do we think we did enough? Yeah. Was it a robbery? No. It was a very, very close fight. I know that, but I showed you guys and I showed everyone that, I definitely wasn't going to get ragdolled like everyone thought. I ended up on top and really put it on him. But the next one, I'll take that win, and it's just going to add to the story.
Last thing for me, you kind of touched on it there. I mean, a win here obviously would be huge. I know you were impressed with Ilia Topuria. I mean, do you want to continue to defend this belt, or
I wasn't that impressed. Yous were, but I'm glad that everyone's impressed because again, that'll just hype up a future fight. But I've got a more of a threat in front of me this weekend, so I'm going to pay attention to that. If Ilia wants that smoke, it's going to be good because I know he will talk that trash, which is fun, and punching people in the face that talk trash is so much better.
Alex, just going off that, why exactly weren't you impressed with Ilia? What did you see that we perhaps didn't see in that fight?
Well, mate, I can't give too much away, right? I think, I think a lot of people could probably touch on some of the things, but put it this way. People don't look like that when I'm in front of them.
You mentioned there about the people talking trash. I'm assuming you weren't that impressed with his prediction that he would beat you in the first round, should you mean?
Yeah, it's dreaming.
Okay. With the Islam fight, is that one of those fights where 25 minutes in there with him gives you such a good game plan and blueprint for how to beat him the second time? He's one of those guys that once you compete against him, the first time you know exactly the adjustments you need to make for the second fight.
Mate, I knew what adjustments I needed to make as soon as I stepped out of that octagon. Straight away I was like, man, I wanted that rematch right now. Like, I know what to do. Everyone knows I'm good with the rematches. And yes, they're just, right now, again, I've got to focus on Yair Rodriguez. But that'll come.
Yeah. With the Rodriguez thing, you're going from lightweight back down to featherweight. I saw in some of your pre-fight stuff that you were saying you felt a lot sharper and more explosive. What's the biggest sort of thing you weren't expecting from the weight changes that you've had over the last year?
So going heavier?
Well, so you've got from going heavier and then going back lighter.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, obviously notice that extra weight. That's why during camp, like when I was doing the bulking and I was a little bit heavy, everyone knows the workload that I've got. it was at the end of the week, my body was definitely feeling it, carrying that weight and wasn't obviously moving as much, and just to definitely warn you that little bit more. So halfway through the camp, I'm like, I want to be a little bit lighter. I want to be, because I reckon I'm going to be just as strong anyway, and I'm going to be fast. So we found that perfect weight, and that was a little bit lighter. So I wasn't too much heavier than I would be this weekend, to be quite honest. Not too much anyway. But it feels good to be at featherweight again, and being as sharp as ever. So definitely that bulk made me stronger though. That camp and again rising to that challenge, to that occasion, definitely put some of my skills on a whole nother level.
In some of the footage you put on your YouTube channel ahead of this fight, I've seen some spinning kicks from you that we haven't necessarily seen a lot. Is part of you kind of like, I'd love to knock out Yair, the spinning kick guy, with my own spinning kick?
Mate, I do beat a lot of people at their own game, so you never know. As I've been saying, Taekwondo Volk is coming for fucking everyone. Excuse my French.
Right here. A lot of talk going into this card about like Robert Whittaker maybe making a quick turnaround for Sydney. Is there any interest on your behalf to do that? I know you said you want to be active, or is that maybe too much with like championship fights?
I mean, it wouldn't be too much. There's a couple of hurdles there. Like obviously, making sure you got the right opponent, making sure there's no injuries and little things like that. But so Emma's my wife is due like 2 days before the Sydney card, so there's another little hurdle there. But
Little hurdle.
But we're talking to doctors, maybe induce a week earlier, or you know what I mean. Like we'll see what we could do.
With all the stops. If we do get Islam and Charles again as the next lightweight title fight, do you expect that to go similar, or do you think maybe we get a different result this time?
I expect that to go similar. And that's no disrespect. Well, I mean, obviously, Charles is very dangerous. He can always catch him, but I think Islam's style, he's patient. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. So you need to put it to him in different ways than just hoping to land something, just one shot, I think so. And I'm not saying that's all how Charles fights. I just think, look, Islam's good. He's well-rounded, you know what I mean? A lot of people are trying to say, we found a chink in the arm, or he's like, I've figured the puzzle and all that. That's me. That's because I was in front of him. He is as good as you were saying, but I just told you that how good I am, and was going to show you that. But again, every time I talk about it, I'm just like, fuck, if only I got my hand raised, it's so much better conversation to have. But yeah, I see it being the same. So I'm the guy to take that belt.
If Charles did win, would any of you be disappointed? Like, is going back to 155, is it about beating Islam or the belt? What's more important to you?
Beating Islam.
Mm-hmm. Alex, over here. You mentioned Charles Oliveira. What did you make of his performance against Beneil Dariush? He was counted out by a lot of people, and he went out there and made a statement.
It was I was surprised by how many people were counting him out. Again, look at who Charles has fought, the who's who, and he's so dangerous, you know what I mean? So I wasn't surprised. I know Dariush is very durable and well-rounded, but I mean, I just thought that matchup wasn't too bad for Charles. And, he showed that. He showed again, he's a dangerous dude. So you've got to be careful, and you've got to approach him the right way.
We were here about a year ago when you fought Max Holloway, and you talked about sort of being disrespected a bit by people, calling, there's Max calling him the uncrowned champ and all that. And since then, you've had the fight with Islam, and I know it didn't go your way, but a lot of people felt like you put on a very good effort. How have things changed from the fan perspective? Because I feel like you gained even more fans from that performance against Islam.
Yeah. It's obviously the stocks didn't lower after that one anyway. So that's why so many people, were obviously saying to me like, you should be proud, like, because I was surprised. You'd be surprised how many people, didn't think I would be, thought that I'd probably get manhandled, like, you know what I mean, and didn't think I stood a chance. And there's probably people close to me that thought that. There was vibes I was getting, the whole way through the whole thing is like, almost why you're doing these vibes. So, so a lot of people didn't expect the fight to look like that, even people close to me. And, but yeah, that's why a lot of people, oh man, like you should be so proud. And they were, very, very happy with that, and obviously the fans as well. So everyone, I still got to show myself, but that's why it stung me more. That obviously it's always going to sting the guy that loses more, but it stung me because I know I could get that job. I know I will. I will get it in the future. But so that's why hearing people congratulating me for losing. was pretty tough at the first week, but I understand it. Like it did help with the loss. You know, a lot of people are like, how have you taken it? Look, play on. You know what I mean? I say play on, probably because of my mindset and how I go about things. I just adapt. You know, I've just always been good at doing that. But you know, that sort of process with everyone being like, wow, you know what I mean? Probably helped a bit too.
And last one for me, Max Holloway's fighting the Korean Zombie. If you go out there and win on Saturday, do you think we'll see him move up? Because if you're still champion, I don't think we'll see a fourth fight between the two of you.
Yeah, man, that's you know, everyone's we've all. You know, I'd like to say I've read that book. You've all read that book. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a tricky situation for him. You know, he's probably hoping that Yair takes me out and then he can get a shot. But yeah, I don't plan on that happening.
Alex. Over here, right here. Can I ask what this Band-Aid is on your face?
You don't know Nelly? Nelly, you know what I mean?
Is that a UFC championship?
You know what I mean? Yeah, it is actually. You know what I mean? They go, look, it was a little scratch, and we don't want to get it infected so close to the fight. And so yeah.
Can I ask? Because Yair's been in the UFC, like he was in the UFC before you.
I think it looks cool too. You know what I mean?
It doesn't look bad.
They custom made the Mexican belt or whatever it is. They custom made some Band-Aids for me. You know.
Can I ask, how long has Yair been on your radar? Because he was in the UFC and he had a lot of highlights even before you came over. So it felt like there were a lot of breaks in his career. But like, how long has he been on your radar as a future opponent?
They're all on my radar, right? Like I keep an eye on everybody. But yeah, he's definitely been right up there. You know, he's had a couple of number one contender fights as well. Been in position where, knowing that he could be next or coming up soon. So I've definitely, because I know how dangerous he is, so I knew he would eventually be there. But you just had to wait for the right time that it was his turn. And being interim champ, it's his turn. So the timing fits very well. And here we are, International Fight Week.
Do you pay attention at all to the top of the bantamweight division too? Because there's fighters like Aljamain Sterling that says like, well, look, if I beat Sean O'Malley, I'm going to go up, and that's another possible super fight for you. So do you pay attention to down there as much too?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I think if he goes out there and takes out Sean, like he's definitely paid his dues. How many times defenses would that be?
3 or 4.
4, yeah. Yeah. So there you go. I think so. He's a big dude, but yeah, we'll just obviously he's got a tough fight ahead of him. But yeah, that's another possible fight. So yeah, there's plenty of options. And again, I want to be active. So cool, keep them rolling.
Are the Nuggets going to be in attendance?
Yeah, I think Jamal Murray's definitely going to be there. I don't know who else. So. See, I'm a Nuggets guy. So yeah, it was good. The timing was perfect actually. So I ended up meeting him in August last year, and he got into the season. I was backing him, and they won. Perfect. And now he's going to be here International Fight Week to support me. So looking forward to it.
And then the last one for me, Saturday is going to be Robbie Lawler's last fight in the UFC. So I'm curious if you have any favorite memories or favorite fights from his career.
Oh man, there's so many. So many. I mean. That war they had the face off, you know what I mean, and his lip was just completely open. That's got to be a pretty iconic moment. So even me and myself and Ortega had like a face off, you know what I mean. I was even like sort of thinking I get them sort of vibes, you know what I mean. So that just shows you, that's a big moment for me. But I think of that when I look at that Ortega. So it shows you how much of a big moment that was, especially the blood they had and the war they had. It was it's crazy.
Alex,
people always remember those fights.
Alex, just over here. You mentioned about the transition back down to 145. Was that hard, and do you see yourself being able to do that successfully, going back and forth through the divisions?
Yeah, no, it wasn't too hard. Actually, I didn't. As I said, I didn't end up that much heavier. So we did the body scans once we knew the fight was happening, and we were sitting at pretty much the same that same weight or like muscle and everything as we did like for July last year. So it's I don't think we actually put on too much. So and I don't want to for next time at lightweight. I know I don't need to because the strength's not the issue. And I know my strength and my technique will be enough for all the lightweights anyway. So then that'll make that transition much easier.
Do you think that would impact your performances at all at lightweight, making that transition?
Nah, because I'm going to sit around pretty much the same weight.
Mm-hmm. And you worked with Carl Van Roo in the run-up to this fight. How beneficial was that?
Oh, yeah. I was lucky enough to have a couple of people in camp that Yair is very good at all ranges. Long range, obviously, you got the taekwondo, and then you got the short range, sort of unpredictable things that come from everywhere. So I was lucky enough to have Blood Diamond, who's if you ever watched his kickboxing highlights, go have a look at that, and you'll see a lot in Yair Rodriguez there. So that was great having him there, and obviously he's bigger. And then Carl Van Roon, that 11-time taekwondo world champion. You know, he's a specialist at what he does, and he does MMA. He understands the game. He did a lot of study and really committed to being a training partner for me, and he's, again, a lot bigger than me. So having guys like that to not just go through and work techniques with me, I was sparring these guys. So, you know, having a longer, rangier, 11-time world champion taekwondo guy spinning some crazy shit at you, that'll keep you on your toes. So, you know, I'll be on my toes ready for whatever comes come Saturday night.
And when you look at Yair's style, what do you think you need to be aware of the most, and how do you see the fight itself playing out?
Be aware of everything, because everything's coming from everywhere. But again, we all know that I make people fight my fight. There's other things that you know, everyone looks a certain way till I'm in front of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's no surprise that people, you know, my opponent's volume goes down, and a lot of their strong assets, are usually a compromise. Yeah, I'm usually able to nullify a lot of people's strengths. So look forward to doing that. Again, Taekwondo Volk, he's coming.
Thank you.
You've mentioned before that you consider Conor McGregor a dream match of yours, as he's the only UFC featherweight champion you haven't faced. Anything can happen, obviously, but
where am I looking?
On the roster?
Sorry.
I'm right here.
Oh.
Way back here.
Oh yeah. Oh, at the back there. Sorry, mate. Yeah, there you go.
Did you get that first part, or?
Yep.
Okay, so anything can happen, obviously, but is there any other fighter on the current roster within the featherweights or lightweights that you would love to face, or even a past fighter that you would love to share the cage with?
Yeah, there's plenty, but there's a lot of fun fights at lightweight. You know what I mean? So you never know. What the BMF is going as well. Maybe BMF. You know, we'll go what? Get free belts. You know what I mean? Get a BMF. Get an actual champ that. I know. I think that'd be cool. You know, get some credibility on that BMF belt. Having a champ that goes in there and takes it as well. So I think that's another option. There you go. I mean, they're great fights as well. So there's a reason why they're getting it. You know, they're exciting, big names. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting fights. But I mean, these are fights that can definitely happen in the near future.
Awesome. And you were talking about your teammates, but you got to watch one of them, Craig Jones, compete on the Fight Pass Invitational. How special was that to see him compete and win, and even walk out to your song as well? Yeah, that was cool. I didn't expect that. I didn't know he was going to walk out to the song. But yeah, good. You know, he didn't. He faced a legend of the sport who's no joke, and to go out there and take the win was awesome. Beautiful way to start the week. You know, our little trip here to Vegas, and I'll end it with another big win, and then we can properly celebrate afterwards. And last one for me.
At XS, everyone's invited.
I see that prime bottle next to you.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations on the deal. How did that deal come together?
Yeah, just obviously it's a big deal, massive opportunity. And just got talking to Logan, met him a couple of times, and yeah, that's how it started.
Hey, Alex.
And we're in our prime, right? So, perfect fit.
Back left here.
Yep.
Quick question for you. You know, as big of a betting favorite as it really comes in terms of a champion fighting a number one contender, let alone an interim champion, you know, how does it feel to get this much respect from the odds makers?
Yeah, I think it's well deserved. You know what I mean? That's no disrespect to Yair. I think that's just all because of what I've done, and you know, and again, I always say people can be a safe bet. You know, when you've got the guy that's got the heart, resilience, durability, fight IQ, and you know, all the right stuff. You know what I mean? It makes it very hard for people to take him out. So it's good to see that finally people are really taking note to that. But the beautiful thing about it is, no matter how much of a favourite I am, the mindset that I have, I look at him as a big friend. As I've said, pretty much the whole camp, he's probably the most dangerous guy that's been put in front of me. So I can completely zone out everyone's thoughts on how they think this fight's going to go, because I see these problems, I see these challenges, and that helps me really prepare, and that's why you'll never see me underdone every time I step in that octagon.
Awesome. And then last question for you. In Las Vegas, anything you particularly enjoy about Las Vegas?
Everything. I enjoy everything. I mean, I was asked, what do I love about it and what I hate about it. I love and hate both of them. Right now, while I'm cutting weight, not being able to eat and really, really enjoy Vegas, I hate it. But then straight after the fight, I'm going to love it.
Alex, you mentioned earlier Yair's custom belt that he had up there. The interim belt itself rubs a lot of fans the wrong way, but he's sitting up there with an interim belt and the custom belt both in front of you. What do you think about that? Like, do you think that's maybe disrespectful at all in a way?
For a second, I seen a bit of red on that. I was like, wait a second, is this the Mexican one? No, sorry, do I feel disrespected?
Yeah, that he's sitting up there with 2 titles and neither of them are the undisputed one.
I don't care. You know what I mean? I know I'm the champ. Everyone in here knows I'm the champ. The world knows I'm the champ. So it doesn't faze me one bit. As I said, and that's no disrespect to Yair Rodriguez, but mate, make the most of it. Enjoy it while it lasts, because I plan on winning this weekend.
And just last thing, what did you and Mel Gibson talk about?
No, man, just he's obviously a fan of the sport. You see him at a lot of events. He's been at a couple of my events, and just said that he loves seeing someone that's I think his words were excellent at their craft. Something like that, just sort of stuff like that. And obviously I've said I was a big fan, and it's cool to have Braveheart saying shit like that to you.
Yeah, I just want your thoughts on Ilia Topuria, him as a fighter, and just his fight with Josh Emmett. Do you feel like he's next?
Yeah, I think they will use it all hyping him up. A lot of people are asking me about him. So yeah. Keep honestly, keep my contenders, top contenders away from him, because I might not be facing him. You know what I mean? Like, again, use saying he's the guy, and well, yeah, cool. Well, that's good. Let's keep him away from everyone, so he can. If he's going to get a whooping, let's make it from me.
Can I just get one more?
No worries.